Okay, so hopefully you've got your two kind of grab bags through the post, one being the bands, the other one being the suspension trainer, and we're going to talk through them both now. So in the resistance band bag, you'll have the 5 resistance tubes as well as 2 handles, and you'll notice already that there is a tiny little carabiner on the end of the handle. I would definitely get 2 bigger carabiners, either buy 2 more off Amazon, or you can take 2 off the extension straps on the suspension trainer, which we'll look at in a second. But there is our main line of resistance. We also have 1 door anchor, which I'll show you how to use later on, but in fact, there's 2 on the suspension trainer, which are much better, so we can kind of get rid of that. And then you also have some straps, so if you want to place this around maybe your wrists or upper arms for pull downs, or maybe later on for core around your ankles, that's exactly what they're there for. So that's grab bag 1. And then within the second bag, the suspension trainer bag, we've got 2 door anchors. You can see they're much bigger, can take up to 150 kg worth of weight, so plenty enough for us. You have your extension straps, which if you need to make the suspension trainer system much longer for any reason, that's what you can do, and I'll show you how to set them up in a second. You probably won't need this too much, so what I'd probably do is take this carabiner and place it onto the handle of your bands, because it's going to be much more versatile. It's just easier to get them on and off than trying to manage that little tiny clip. And then you've got 2 separate suspension trainers. So loads of great advantages actually to having 2 separate ones as opposed to one that comes off two that comes off 1 point. But we've got our main attachment point, which I'll show you how to use both within the door anchor or if you've got a bar to put it up on. We have our adjustment straps here to change the length. And then of course you've got the handle with hands, or we can black a sling for the feet. So we're going to look at how to set them both up so you can start using them tomorrow. And really I'd view these as your get out of jail cards. So if you decide to just train from home exclusively, this is going to be a great start. Then over time we can chip away at buying some home kit. But otherwise, if you're going to train at a gym, there's going to be plenty of times whenever you travel or you just can't make it to the gym, that these are, like I said, are going to be your get out of jail free card, where we can use them to still get a great workout, maybe in 5-10 minutes that we can grab here or there, as long as we know how to use them effectively. So if you're setting up the suspension trainer from a bar overhead, it honestly couldn't be easier. Obviously, this could also be a bar on the side or something that you've got, depending on what height we need for the exercise. But literally all you're going to do is bring it over, open that carabiner, and then place it back through this top black strap. Now from there, I can adjust how high this is simply by pulling the clip and then pulling it down. And each time you want to make sure you're making a note of how many notches it up is. But super quick, super simple. Can take up to, I said, 150 kg per strap. So we are more than enough weight load tolerance for us there. But you may not have this bar. So another option is to use the door anchor. So when using the door anchor, you always want to make sure that you're working towards the door or pulling into where the door closes to, not to where it opens, because obviously that can cause a few issues. So all we're going to do is take the door anchor, wrap it round, and then clip it back on just like you would have done on the bar above. And then this now gives us a point that's going to go behind the door. Now I can put it at the top of the door, or I could have before try to slide this in between potentially if I want to have it a little bit lower, or around a door handle, something along those lines. But you'll see that once I pop that either side there and I close the door, I'm now pulling into where the door is closing, and we can use this for any kinds of exercises that we want to use, again, with that strap. And the beauty of this is we can set up one a little bit wider, one the other side. It's going to give us loads of options. So it couldn't be much simpler either for the resistance tubing. I've just placed the handle and the bands through the anchor point. And again, I'm using the anchor from the suspension trainer. They're just bigger, a little bit more robust. I'm going to put it on the side of the door. Obviously, if you can, this isn't the best door for it, but I'm going to pull the door closed. And now I'm pulling in towards that door. And my recommendation would be is have all the bands through there. And then all you need to do is come and take off the bands that you don't want. So if I only want 2 of the bands, I take 2 of them off. They're no longer going to be contributing to any of the band tension. Slip this back on, and we can perform our exercises from there. So if I'm going to perform my press, I'm going to come out in front, and now I'm only using 2 of those bands as opposed to all of the bands that were on there before. So it's just a nice, simple way of doing it. We can, as I said before, use the smaller anchor point to slide in through the other side of the door, which I'll show you in just a second, and that's going to allow us to press into 2 different positions. And so here we've just got 2 of the anchor points set up, one either side of the door. Obviously I've just fed it through, and now I've got the 30 and the 10 on one side and the 40 on the other, obviously giving me 40 in total. And then from there, we've now got a press where I can press and actually the bands don't get in the way. And unlike the other press variation before now, I've actually got some tension at the top here where I didn't before. So that should be our basic setup for the bands and suspension trainer. What you've got to do now is follow along with the exercises.